Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Sterk of Sterk Family Law, and I have the privilege today to be with Ben Stortz of Cornerstone Services. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming out because it's important for all of us to learn what Cornerstone does. So first of all, can you give us a little background about yourself and about the history of your organization?
Absolutely. Ben Stortz, I've been with Cornerstone for 19 years now, so hard to believe. I came to Cornerstone as the Director of Finance and became interested in helping people. And that's my passion now, is helping people and making a difference in people's lives.
That's right.
And we really make a difference every day in people's lives. And Cornerstone's been doing that for 50 years now.
It's a long time, yeah.
Cornerstone was founded as the Will County Sheltered Workshop in 1969, and it's evolved in today to a multifaceted organization. When it was originally founded, it was by a few families that were concerned about what was going to happen to their loved one after they left high school.
Okay.
And so that they started what was then called Will County Sheltered Workshop.
Very good, yeah, because a lot of people get services, especially for disabled children, and then when they get to that age 22, all of a sudden those services are cut off and they're panicked because they don't know what to do or where to go.
Absolutely. There is, I call it kind of the cliff. People kind of fall off the cliff at that point because the services basically end in the school system. They need to transition to the adult world. And sometimes that's done well, sometimes it's not.
Understood.
And so families struggle with making that transition. So I always recommend to families to try to do as much pre-planning as possible.
Right.
And while it may seem off in the distance, it comes sooner than what you think.
And that's what our firm is dedicated to do, is that's why we're doing the podcast, to learn about what are the options available to individuals who are in that situation, how do families move forward in a positive way.
So what I recommend to families is they should seek out their independent service coordination entity, or they're referred to as ISCs in Illinois. There used to be 17 of those in Illinois, but now there's 12. There was a realignment of those, but they can find those locally. In the Will County area, that's Service. It's Service of Will, Grundy, and Kankakee counties. They screen individuals for services if you have an intellectual or developmental disability, and then they can connect you to different resources that may be available. What's also critical in that process is you get on the state's waiting list, and the state has a waiting list is referred to as PUNs.
Right.
And periodically they do different PUNs pulls, they call them, to take people off the waiting list. And I understand there'll be another one this summer that's going to happen. So it's critical you get on that list so you can then be deemed eligible, and then if you get your name selected, you can seek out a provider in the community.
And then with regard to that PUNs list, it's important to get on that PUNs list as early as you can, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, don't wait.
Right, because we're giving that information early on. And you talked about developmental delays. Also, if there's certain physical delays, would that also relate to these types of services?
It could, yes.
Okay.
That, or I would also recommend people going to see the Division of Rehab Services too. They can help out with different sets of services that might not be an intellectual or developmental disability, but a whole other array of services too.
Right. So either way, people can reach out for that help because they could be in the school system for either purpose and getting that IEP and the services till 22 and then again being dropped off at that time.
Exactly right. So I think families, the key is just to get engaged early and then seek those out, and then there's some different avenues that they can explore.
Sure. Now, Cornerstone is well known for purposes of accommodating, adults with disabilities. But when I have been studying and researching Cornerstone, you provide a great variety of services in addition to that. Can you tell us and give us an introduction to those types of services?
Absolutely. So Cornerstone, we're a multifaceted organization. We primarily serve adults with disabilities, and disabilities is a broad generalization that there's lots of different disabilities that fall under that. So we're primarily serving people that have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're also serving people with mental illness. What I say to people when I meet with them, if you kind of looked at Cornerstone in a pie chart, about 2/3 of our services are for people with intellectual developmental delays. Then you have about 1/3 of our services are for people with mental illness. And
and now on that mental illness side, it also breaks down into various categories, correct?
Right. So you take that third, and I would say the primary service that we provide is we help people that were homeless and have mental illness. We have various contracts with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to find housing for individuals that are homeless. Once we find that housing, we provide supports, wraparound supports, to make sure they stay housed and help with their recovery. We also offer outpatient counseling services. We also have 2 group homes if people need a higher level of care, they need greater supervision. We work with individuals to transition out of that. We also serve a number of people that have a co-occurring substance abuse disorder too. So.
Now, co-occurring, that is a more modern term.
Yes.
And so I know we're going to do an individual podcast about that, but can you tell our audience what co-occurring refers to?
Absolutely. So it means that you have more than just one disability or one condition that you're dealing with. So in this particular instance, it's somebody that has mental illness and also has a substance abuse issue. We see that very common. Probably about half the people that we serve not only have a mental illness, but they have a substance abuse issue. So we take a holistic approach then to helping individuals with those needs. That it's just not we're focusing on mental illness or we're focusing on the substance abuse. We're trying to work on both
together. Right? Because I'm sure that then is greater in terms of the opportunity for recovery.
Exactly. And so a few years ago, we decided too that we were seeing a number of individuals that had co-occurring substance abuse and mental health issues, and while we partner with a number of organizations for the substance abuse issues, we thought, why don't we bring that service in-house too? That if we bring that expertise on, we can have a better outcomes with individuals, and we've seen that.
That's very good. Right. So then you have the individuals with mental illness, the co-occurring, and then you also provide services to veterans. Am I correct with that?
We do. We serve about 20 veterans right now.
Okay.
The veterans that we serve right now, the 20 are people. They were formerly homeless. They were individuals that sought out our services in terms of providing housing to them, then we're providing supports to them. In Will County, we've done a great job of addressing homelessness for veterans. About 2 years ago, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development declared that Will County has essentially ended veteran homelessness.
That's fantastic news. You're right.
Yeah, when we say that, it doesn't mean that there's not.
It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but
their resources are available that we can connect somebody if somebody does present to the resources they need to find housing. So it's been a concerted effort in our community to
that's very good.
Tackle veterans homelessness.
So does that really then encompass the 1/3 services, just individual standalone mental health services, the co-occurring, and then the veterans?
Yes, yeah. So it's essentially what we're doing there, and we do some outpatient counseling and therapy too. So that are outside of the housing services that people are just referred to us and receive those services.
Now, it also appears that you have a lot of services that you provide in the area of job training.
Yes.
Does that result or refer to the 2/3 services you provide to the delayed adults?
So that cuts across our organization.
Okay.
So it's serving people with mental illness and also people that maybe have a developmental or intellectual disability.
Got it. So if a veteran comes in, qualifies for the program, gets housing, gets the services, they also could get job training. Is that correct?
So one of the specific services we provide is called Individual Placement Support. It's referred to as IPS. It's an evidence-based program that has really been promoted by Dartmouth. Dartmouth has done a lot of evidence-based research on this model, and what it is it's a rapid engagement model of employment for people with serious mental illness.
And what does that mean?
So if somebody comes to us and says, hey, I'm interested in working, we're working day one to help them find a job. We're not doing a lot of assessment or training, or we're saying, all right, what are you interested in? Let's go out and find that job right now. And what we found is there's better results instead of waiting to engage someone in doing a lot of upfront work. Is that, that you're really trying to find them a job right now, day one.
Right, and it doesn't mean you can't get the upfront work done later. It just gets them in the environment that they want to do it at that point.
Exactly, and so Cornerstone, we're one of 7 organizations statewide that have exemplary status to the model, to the IPS model. So the state comes out and they surveys the services that we provide, and they recognize that we're really making a difference. And what you really see is the connection and the integration of our services, the behavioral health and the employment, that the staff are working together to support people, that we're not doing that in silos.
Right.
And then you really see the results. So we've got over, I think it's about 45% of our individuals in that program that are working, and that's a pretty high when you compare it to national averages.
Sure, and then you also have to be sensitive about how much they can work because of their Social Security and all the other issues that come with that. And what I understand about your organization taking this holistic approach is really you're going to look at the financial piece as well and help them and really give them the guidance to go through what they can do and what they can't.
Yes, we have staff that help people with that in terms of benefits management, applying for Social Security, making sure that they can maintain and keep their benefits. And that's been a challenge of late with the state, with some of their systems. But again, that's part of the holistic approach, is making sure the financial piece is there too.
So if overall somebody just wants to get familiar with Cornerstone, maybe they're a corporate entity that might be able to provide jobs, or an individual wanting to give donations, or a family that needs the services, or an individual that needs your services, how can they get a hold of you, and what's the best steps that they should take?
I think the best first step would be just to go to our website, visit that. There's information out there about the organization. then they can just contact us, reach out to us. If people want to volunteer, we have a staff member who's in charge of our volunteer services that can help connect people to do different activities for us. They can reach out to our development department if they're interested in some type of donation or want to support a certain part of the organization. We can help in those efforts. We also help, it's been well received, is to help coordinate tours for people too. If they want to come out and see firsthand the services that we provide.
Yeah.
So we're
Sometimes that visual effect can help people
get
to know more about you.
So there's multiple avenues we can help people with that.
Well, it's very exciting that we're able to learn about your organization and share the information with the public at large. So thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Take care.